Say, testing.
Testing.
And try to get as close as they could out to what was already here.
Cheryl. I hear an echo.
Yeah, but it's not playing on the.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay, you turn.
You sit in the middle, use all three. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. No, there you go. I'm not that fancy. So I guess we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Aye. If we could get approval for the minutes.
Do you all have changes or approval of the agenda?
We can do, okay, do we have any changes, or can we have an approval for the agenda? I have a motion to approve the agenda. I always try to skip that. And I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, so now let's go to approval of the old minutes from May 6th. Everybody look it over, and if anybody wants to make a motion, please feel free to do so.
Make the motion to approve.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
I think there
Oh,
is,
wait.
I see one on the third page, second full paragraph, second line. Okay, no, it's right. I thought we were referring to somebody else. We're good. Excuse me.
Okay.
He thought you was right, but wrong, but you was right.
Backwards.
So,
Okay, I have a motion and a second. If you want, we can wait for some discussion, or we can take a vote if you want to look it over a little more.
I'm good. No
Good.
discussion.
Everybody good? If we'd like to take a vote, all in favor? Unanimous. Well, that leads us to LDO.
Yep, so the last meeting that we talked, it was talked about possibly looking at Article 8 of the LDO, at the minimum lot sizes. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at that since our previous meeting, but I'd pulled from 3 surrounding towns, kind of just to get an idea what their minimum lot requirements are. And what I found was that we're fairly close on some of the lot sizes. So for example, Cramerton's lot sizes, they range from 8,000 to 12,000. I got McAdenville's, they range anywhere from 8,000 to 20,000. And then I also pulled from Ranlow, they range anywhere from the lowest of 11,600 to then it jumps to 17,450 to 34,900 for their minimum lot sizes. Ours range from 17,450 to the next one's 11,600, and then SFR4 is 7,800. So I think the question here, that I'd like to discuss with y'all is the minimum lot sizes for the SFRs and the Main Street, residential Main Street transition lot sizes. And I don't know if y'all have any thoughts about this, if you like the way they currently sit, if you think they need to be adjusted up or down, but I'm open for any discussion that you may have.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that question the Main Street transitional, the houses that were built right down towards Sundrop. And that's what I think, one of the things that sparked this, is there's been a couple projects that have been a little
Right.
within the zoning law, but maybe the zoning law may need to be looked at.
Okay.
Did you have like the map, the big map?
I can pull the map up.
Do we all have one in our book? Is there one in the middle? Let me try to-
I really want to think you were talking about too, is not as much the lot size as the setbacks from whatever street, the main street they were on.
Yes.
I think that's a part of it. I think a lot of the questions are that I'm getting are the actual lot sizes being too small.
Talking about the ones on
The
Bridge Street.
the ones yeah, I think that's kind of what spurred this off, is looking at those and how they were able to put 4 on there. Well, the zoning down there is, the minimum lot size is 5,000. So, looking at something, looking at increasing that lot, the lot size there, if you think that's what is needed, or leaving it as is. I don't think necessarily the setbacks were what was being in question. I think it was more or less the lot size.
Be interested to know what that compares to like some of the houses on Black Street, because those are, I think it's just because that was new and different. I don't think they're small, but.
Right.
So just like in comparison, the new single-family homes that are going down on Lower Spencer Mountain, at the True Homes developments, most of those lots are ranging from 0.16 to 0.20
What's that?
down there, and I believe that is.
Square feet.
I believe that zoning down there is SFR3.
Where? The new one?
Yeah, like the True Homes development down there. The most of the lot sizes in there are ranging from 0.16 to 0.20.
And that's not the one that's past Poston Park, though?
That's correct. Yes, not past there. It's the ones that they're currently constructing right now.
Okay.
So for SFR3, the lot size is about twice what, a little over twice what this is? 11.6 versus 5,000 square feet?
Yeah, so let's see.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Oh, that's a big difference.
So when we're talking about 5,000 square feet to acres, we're talking about 0.11 acres.
Okay.
That would be consistent with like Riverside?
Well, if we're
Riverview?
talking about the houses they just put up right here on Bridge Street,
Okay.
those lots are about 0.11 for
Oh.
for each one.
And how big are the houses?
I would say probably 1,200 to 1,400 square feet.
I guess
Well,
the
and,
purpose,
yeah, excuse me, go ahead.
the purpose of this specific district was to have denser housing, but I feel like maybe that doesn't really seem like it's part of downtown. I think that's part of the problem. It's kind of outside in the middle of the neighborhood.
Right. And I think it was for, for walkability, accessibility to our downtown. I mean, it's, like you said, it's not necessarily in the downtown, but it's within a walking or biking distance. And I think that's kind of what, from my understanding of how this particular district was written to try to draw more folks to the downtown from a walkability standpoint.
Well, without the map too, it's hard for us to envision, for me it is, to say, where does this transition end? What's the
So-
marker?
On the city website has the zoning map.
Can we pull that up though and look at
Peek
it?
'em.
So it looks like it's a part of Bridge Street, Oak Street, some of Third, and looks like maybe over by High Street. So it's not a real big. It's really not that big of an area. I would say there's probably 50 parcels within that RMST district
Right.
that the zoning affects, but and again, it's just mainly focusing in that area.
The orange,
Right.
Yeah,
you can see the orange.
And for me, again, I can see the staging of the requirements on these lot sizes as you move out of town. So
Right.
the stair step in effect, that makes sense to me. But the biggest concern, as I've said earlier, for me is, what about the setback from that main road?
right.
And I don't know how we would address that versus the size of the lots and not, because maybe every road, that's not as big a concern as a main thoroughfare. If it's a
Right.
side street and the setback's what these houses are, it may not be a concern, but we know that sooner or later, this road right here is going to be widened because it's not a side street. It's a main thoroughfare.
Right.
And when it is widened, we're going to have a big, more problems. So
Correct.
the setback is more of a concern for me on these houses that are built on thoroughfare than it is than a concern about the actual lot size.
Okay. And I'm willing to take any and all suggestions. And I'm willing to take any suggestions or comments, and we can look at those. I mean, if you think that the lot sizes are, that they're adequate for these particular districts, then maybe it is looking at just looking at the setbacks.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, again, for me, my personal opinion would be, it is in a certain area, it's isolated to that area, and the lot size was determined or decided on with a purpose of being able to bring more dense housing. So to enlarge that, we take away the goal of the whole move for that.
right.
But either way, it doesn't resolve the issue of the setback, I don't think.
Okay.
What is, I didn't bring my book, I apologize. What is the setback? How far is it?
Let's see if I
For the
can.
RMST,
Yeah, the transition, yeah.
yeah, so from the minimum front street setback is 12.
12 feet?
Yeah.
There it is.
What about on R3?
20.
Which one?
SFR 3 is 20. So it's the setbacks for SFR 3 and SFR 4, they're 20 feet.
Yeah.
And then for the Main Street transitional district, it's 12.
So we say that's a big difference.
Yeah.
12 to 20 feet.
Yeah.
And in my house, 50 feet? 306?
I don't have, no, it has to be,
It
What-
might have been when they built it.
yeah. I'd have to look and see what, let's see. I'd have to look up and see what zoning you are.
Now, Another piece of it is like next to the Dollar General. What's gonna happen in that space? It's mixed use. So next to the Dollar General, didn't they try to put a McDonald's in there or something at one time? You remember that?
Yeah, I haven't received any, plans or anything of what's gonna go on in there.
But it's right there in my neighborhood, so I know this one very well. But on the front and the back of the block, and that's why they built those apartment buildings in kind of a residential zone, but Main Street transitional apparently. And nobody really realized that until they already built them. And they're building them, and we're like, oh, wow. So-
But there again, that's a main road coming in, and that's zone different, so the setbacks are different. Well,
I think it's MU one or two.
Yeah, MU1.
Yeah,
so I,
But that's on the front side, but on the back side, that's residential, and
Right.
that's also MU1. And I think that's where maybe we kind of maybe need to look at that and figure out if that's right, because a lot of the neighbors complain, they're like, put all these apartment buildings right here in the middle of the neighborhood. It's like, well, it's zoned for that, so.
exactly.
But maybe it shouldn't be. I don't know. But it's too late for that one. But there's probably other pieces sitting around that, you know, I mean, do we want to slow that down? Do we want, what's really the goal of the city at this point? I mean, it was the expansion, the growth, and really steering it and had a vision. And now I don't know what the real vision is. I mean, do we need this? The high density stuff close to downtown, is that still our vision for the future, or?
yeah, I mean, I think, the growth is definitely it's definitely coming, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the making sure that we have, the right zoning in place to accommodate this stuff. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
That's cool.
So, but David Jennings, you're in RMST, so yours is 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we got David Williams here. He
Hey, Dave.
that's we're just going over some of the minimum lot standards and kind of going over setbacks and things like that for the different districts. And you feel free to chime in if you want to on kind of why they maybe have wrote this ordinance the way that they did, and maybe you can enlighten them on some of this stuff.
Okay.
But if you do, I need to listen to it.
Let me think about, find out what you all.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So are you saying that you're okay with how the standards are written, or do you think there should be some changes in it?
I'm okay with everything that we've dealt with up to this point, except the setback
Okay.
on those main thoroughfares.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we do have a widening project at some point, that's
And to address the vision thing, I think the vision doesn't change. I think the vision is growth, and it's gonna always be that. Even if it's directed in a different way, speeded or slowed, it's still growth, and we gotta think about it that way. And thinking strategically, we know it's coming, so what we need to do is say, try to make those decisions based on the fact that it is gonna grow. It is gonna grow, things are gonna change, so we don't want to backtrack, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I think I agree with you, because I don't know where we would go. I mean, you
Right.
can't really, let's undo everything.
Right.
'Cause that doesn't really lead
Yep.
us to the future.
Yep.
So I think you're right on that.
And I think visions and goals are two different things, and so the vision's not gonna change, the goals might have, but the vision should be the same.
So we're thinking on the RMST where it has the front setbacks of 12, moving them to what? To the 20?
I say 20,
I say 20.
yeah,
Okay.
What's the setback on R4?
Well,
20.
20, yeah.
It's 20.
yeah, because it went from, it's cut to
12.
12. I
Mhm.
mean, I
Yeah,
don't
20.
understand that they should, I would have been somewhere in the middle there in the beginning, but, yeah.
Okay. And then we're, as far as the rear and side setbacks, you're good with those at 5 and 8?
I think the denser housing is inevitable. I think that's not really the issue. I think the issue is how it's gonna affect the city and if it's right. If it's right in this place and right in this place. And I think that's what, I think we really kind of need to look at the detail of where this Main Street transition is. We blow that up and we can kind of look, we all know the city and we all look and kind of see, and we might see a spot that maybe we need to really look at. Maybe it doesn't fit for Main Street transitional, but I think as a whole, I think Norris has hit nail on the head. I think the setback is good from the front. The sides okay. I don't think the sides a big
The
problem.
side, yeah, it's the front, yeah.
Yeah. So if they're a little tight, just in this zone,
Do you want a particular area on that?
just the orangey color, the Main Street transitional. Yeah, right there.
And I believe you said that we're only talking about 50 parcels
Yeah.
in that area.
And,
And, you know, how many of those 50
Yeah.
are on a main thoroughfare?
and how many of them actually are vacant to be built on at this point in time?
Right.
So,
And maybe, David, you could help us with that. What are we, how do you isolate a setback from main thoroughfares and non-main thoroughfares in that area?
I think we almost need to just make it, like, if it's gonna be 20, like our R3,
20
we just
on
make it
any?
20. And it's
Okay.
20 across the board, less confusion. The only thing is, will from 12 to 20 create a problem building Main Street transitional type projects? So, like the 4 houses that went up down here towards Sundrop, if they would have had they had a 12-foot setback?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they would have been 20, they may not have been able to build the 4 houses, right?
Right.
So,
Is it the setback from the actual physical structure, right, not the, like, I mean, obviously not, I know they have the little side driveways and that
Mhm.
sort of stuff doesn't count, right?
Right.
Those
That's
seem
from
to
the
be
middle of the
set
road, right?
So that what?
It's, the
The set-
setback starts at the middle of the road?
Yeah, from the right of way.
Okay.
so if it goes from middle of the road to the front of the
To the
house,
corner, yeah, to the
then it
corner.
would go from the side road, middle of the road, to the house. So you've got two frontages at that property, right?
Well, you're gonna have the minimum front setback, measured from the right of way and the rear setback, and the side
What's the side setback on those?
4.
Yeah.
So is that the same as R3 then, 4 foot, 4 foot?
R3, SFR3 is 8 and SFR4 is 5. So 8 rear and side for both 3 and 4, and then 5 and 5 for rear and side. But the lot widths change from SFR3 to SFR4, so the minimum lot width for 3 is 60, and the minimum lot width for 4 is 50.
Run that by me one more time.
SFR3 lot width is 60, and SFR4 lot width. SFR3 is 60, SFR4 is 50.
And Main Street transitional? You
Is,
have it?
Can't find it.
the lot width is, let's see, Is that, yeah, 42?
40 as 40?
42?
42.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? So you have lot width from R3 down to Main Street transitional. So then sides, the sides are only 4 foot where R3's 8, and then
I think that, I don't see a problem with that, because we're moving, like, as Tyler said, looking, get back here, SR 4, the width was 50,
yeah.
and we're cutting it down to 42 to encourage the higher density. I think too that just the fact that if we consider the setback on those streets, that forces some restructuring of what that higher density is gonna look like without reducing the lot size. We don't wanna kill it where nobody could use it.
Right.
And without looking at it on a map and running those numbers, we don't know, but it's very possible, like you said, instead of building, what was it, 4 houses, they could have built 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Which could resolve every one of those questions and issues. Too much on the lot for some people. Better setbacks from the main roads, but still getting more out of the land that's there.
All right.
You gotta look at the vision, envision what the future will look like for this area too. To where, the rest of the town is, we all live R3 pretty much. I don't know about you, but, so we're in that kind of range, and you drive through the city and you see everybody's got a nice yard, big yard and this and that, and you're gonna squish it down a little bit, so it's gonna look a little different, I think. So, that's one thing we gotta kinda consider too.
Right.
Because we're gonna jam a lot in. But you think just the setback in the front, you think that's all?
For me, setbacks along those highways.
Go to 20, you think? Be consistent with everybody else, the R3 and the R4?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So leaving lot sizes as is.
Yeah,
And
I don't
then
know, you
just-
guys wanna mess with the lot, I think Norris is a genius, that's all there is to it. But once again, I think he hits the nail on the head. That's gonna discourage what it's trying to encourage.
Right.
So, how much would it affect people that come in here, if we go from 12-foot front setback to a 20? How big of a problem you think that's gonna cause with people that are looking to develop things in a more dense environment?
I don't think it stops them. I mean, I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think it's that big of a deal that way.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Instead
But
of
I'm
building,
just trying to think in my mind too, looking, if we think of those houses and those streets, there's 2 streets, right? Was it 2?
Right.
Side street and the front street.
Got growth.
And now they're 12 foot versus 20. If those houses, everything was set in and back 8 more feet, that shaves a good bit off that lot size.
That's right.
There were 3, if I remember right, 3 lots they combined to 1. Do you remember exactly?
I think it was one, maybe 2, they combined into one.
I
I knew they
yeah.
combined something
Yeah,
to
there was
one.
there was a house on there that they obviously tore down.
Yes.
And I think they combined the lot that was on Bridge Street to make, 4
Yeah, I
lots
think
out.
they combined 2 lots.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
I just swallowed something.
oh,
all right.
well, I think that's progress. I
Okay.
think that's good. I think that'll help control things going, I think that'll look better, a better aesthetic kinda when you're driving through. It's not like, let's jam everything we can on it. It's gonna be done, I think, a little more, aesthetically better. And the extreme high density, when you get into this high density housing, there's been a lot of studies and there's a lot of information, you probably know better than me on this one, that it can bring higher the density of the housing, the more problems it brings within itself as well. So I don't think we don't have enough to really make a difference like that, I don't think. But especially with the existing houses. But if you look in that, and as we've all driven around town and stuff, do you see any lots or anything that might be more problematic if we don't do something about it? Or do you think everything is kind of kosher? And you think it'll just don't? Because I'd hate to change something and then somebody comes, this is and then there'd be some big problem. We have to come back and change it again. Try to think out everything. Maybe our expert has some. What do you think about this? You ready?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, grab the mic.
I'm Dr. David Williams. I don't know what else I need to say. Do I need anything else?
With, in focus, right?
No, I'm with Ability Development Group. For me, and I've been in planning for over 31 years, certified planner. I'm a professor at UNCC, but I think what you all are doing is the right thing. You mentioned vision and goals, and you're defining what your density is for Lowell. It's not what Monroe does, you're right. It's not what Cary does or Cornelius. This is what Lowell density does. So once you figure out that vision and determine what the density is, then that's what you got to stick with. You know what I'm saying? Gastonia may have a totally different density, but that's Gastonia. This is Lowell. You have great access to Charlotte. You're going to have a lot of interest in Lowell. And also, when you were talking about the setback, increasing it from 12 to 20, I think another question might be, what's that rear setback going to be? Because I think once you determine the front setback, the side setbacks, and the rear, that'll determine how much you're going, in terms of lot size, Mr. Chairman, how many units per acre you can get. So once you develop a framework of what your density wants to be, it really doesn't even matter what the zoning district is that we're only doing 2 units to the acre, 3 units to the acre in this particular area. And everything else falls into place. Now, I haven't studied this or anything. I was really coming as a spectator just to, support Mr. Cobb and what have you. So I'll definitely need some additional time to help and look at that, if that's the pleasure of the manager and you as planning board, to give my feedback on. I've worked with a number of towns and counties and that type thing. But just being mindful, what you are doing is you're establishing a density for Lowell. You're not establishing a density for Monroe or Belmont. You're establishing a density for Lowell, what you think is appropriate. And what you're doing, I think, is the right thing to do. Now, is it perfect? You say you may have to come back, Mr. Chairman. You only come back if there's some situations that you might have to do a variance or may do a text change or something like that. But the large scheme of things, you feel like, hey, this is a density that we support in the downtown area of Lowell and, the areas adjacent and contiguous with it. I don't know if that helps, Mr. Chairman.
What is what's the rear on Main Street and R4? It's 40?
4.
4.
Okay.
4 feet.
Yes.
What do you think about possibly,
In light of his comments and that setback that's already on the backside, as he said, what if Tyler, could we take a look at theoretically the lots that we know have been used now that seem to have created a problem? That's where the questions are coming from. If we looked at a 20-foot setback, how would that have affected where those houses are in relation to the setbacks that, from side setbacks as well as the back side? Again, we don't want to say like 20 feet and without knowing would this make some of these lots unbuildable? See,
Yeah.
we don't want to get into that. So I think we
And then we have
we
to-
need more information
Yeah.
before we actually say we ought to recommend 20 feet to the council. Any
That's great.
comments? on
No,
that?
no,
I mean,
Mr. Chairman, members of the planning commission, that's an excellent point. Because what you don't want is, people come back and say, we changed the setbacks and what have you, and we can't do anything. You've been in this business a long time, that's what people are gonna say. So have, Mr. Cobb can examine that situation and then, look at the reduced setbacks and in terms of what you can do. Because obviously you got water and sewer, so that's not an issue. But in terms of what density you can get, but what you don't want to do is render the lots that people can't use, and then you get people, complaining and saying, hey, you want the highest and best use, we want to be able to use it for what we want to. You're trying to strike a balance with that, but I think, I agree, additional research would be appropriate.
Yeah,
Before you make a recommendation to the town council, town board.
yeah.
Mr. Cobb, is that?
That's
okay?
it, yeah.
Okay.
And it would really be hard to say what it would look like now.
Right. Well, what about,
I think probably like we've said before, if we went and we updated the setbacks, speaking on that lot that we're talking about, I think probably what would happen there is you would cut into it, instead of putting 4, you could have put 3.
Right.
And I think that would, make for the end goal of kind of what everybody's looking for, instead of trying to cram,
Right.
as many as they possibly can. And I think by putting, like I said, that 20, 20-foot setback, again, would definitely play a huge part in cutting down on the number they can put in there.
And it's only 4 foot on the back.
That's correct.
You said that's from the right of way, not the middle, well, it could be from the middle of the street.
and have
Right away.
the lots,
No.
the
Back of the
four
right of way.
the 4 houses that are there,
Yeah.
have they already recorded a plat that shows what size they are?
I don't have.
What I'm thinking, for instance, right now, the way things stand, it has to be a 5,000, a minimum of 5,000 square feet.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if we knew, for instance, what one of those, or maybe all 3, as far as that goes, lots were, are they 6,000 square feet now?
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Are they 5,001 square feet?
I can tell you. Let me
And
see
if they're very close to that 5,000 mark, we know 20-foot setback, an additional 8 foot times that lot size, could have said, you're not gonna be able to build here.
If you give me 1 second, I may be able to pull it up.
You follow me?
Yeah, because 20
Yeah.
foot would push them too far, because
It would,
It
it
ain't
would
gonna leave you
make
enough
them,
land,
it
yeah.
would possibly make the lots less than the minimum required lot size.
Yeah.
and it may not reduce down by 1, it may reduce further
By
because
3,
because you're gonna have to contend with that in each house.
yeah.
Yeah. if you-
Huh.
Yeah, and if you give me 1 minute, I may be able to pull it up here.
So,
Just.
well, I think as a consensus, is Main Street transitional, if we tweak it, is it still appropriate in those
Right,
areas?
right.
Anybody got a thought on that? Is it,
No, I definitely think we need to tweak it for for those setbacks
but
on those
but we
roads.
keep the Main
But-
Street transitional
But
though.
we need to see, like I said, 20 feet's great, keeps it consistent with everything else, but is 20 feet unreasonable?
Mhm.
We know 12's not gonna work, that's what we are now,
So to-
right?
so to-
We know it's gotta be more.
So it appears that, and I'll just read them out. One lot is 5,953 square feet. Another lot is 6,829 square feet. the other lot size is 6,469, and the last one is 6,708 square feet.
So the 5950 lot, is that a
Yes.
lot that's on,
That is the lot that runs to Grove Street. That's the first house
going out Grove Street?
going out Groves, yeah. So that was the first one, and then the second one, that is 6829, that's at the corner of Bridge and Groves.
Okay,
Okay.
And then the two that are on Bridge Street are 6469 and 6708.
And they're
So-
all 12 foot from the front, whatever road's in front of them.
Yes.
So at 20 foot though,
so let's go back to, the main concern looks like to me here would be the 5950. What's the width of that lot on Grove Street?
It is 52.8.
So 52.8 times 8,
Four hundred-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, they all have different frontages.
right, well, but that one was the only one that was closest to 5,000 square feet. That's what I was
Yeah.
kinda looking
The
at,
oth-
getting at.
the other one
And it really
is,
wasn't close.
So 400 more feet off of that lot would not render it,
That's right.
would not have stopped the
They
building,
still could do
That's
it.
right.
but it would have brought it a lot closer.
yeah.
That
so-
lot would have been 5,500
It
square
would've been-
feet.
Instead of 59, it would have been 55.
Exactly. So that says, at least to me, it says 20 feet
It's
is doable.
Mhm. Yeah, cause the other widths are 74
Yeah.
and a half and at least 50
Right.
on the other two. So I think, yeah, so I think if we moved it to the 20, I think we'd accomplish what's being asked.
Right.
What else? That's all I had, just kinda
Right.
get some direction to take to council. And again, if we wanna come back next month and discuss it more, we can. Or have David here, let him look. I think
Yeah.
what we may do is plan something for next month, have David look over, get any other questions that we may have out there. We'll have another month for this. Get them to him and, kinda go from there. And then if still the consensus is, yeah, I think we should move them to 20 and leave everything else as is, we're good, but I think, with him being the expert, we'll have him
I'm
answer
good with
your
that.
questions. Yeah.
I will comment one more thing on it though. So by moving it, if it was 20 today and those houses weren't built, they'd still be able to build all those houses.
That's correct.
So
So-
we'd still have people complaining, but we would feel safe with that road frontage.
Right.
And
That's
it
the
would
key.
look better if
Yes,
it was farther
so-
setback, so maybe less people. would
Yeah,
complain.
and how many more
I
situations,
think that-
with 50 parcels, again, we don't know how many is even available.
That's
Or will
right.
be coming available,
I
but, that's an isolated case.
think the only one that I know that's really available is at David's, right by you. I know that one's on the books, being reviewed right now. Let's see.
For 3 condos,
That's right. That's what they're slated.
triplex
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's what's being proposed. Like I said, that's still under
is that
review.
the big brick
There's
house
nothing
across
passed.
from the Fix-It place? Right over here? Is that the big brick house on the corner? Is that
No.
going over?
No, what, the first house past the post office,
Okay.
and then there's an open area between there and my house.
Okay.
And they're gonna put a triplex.
Well, that's what they're
They're
proposing.
wanting to put a triplex.
Well, you live next to it. How do you feel about that?
It seems awful tight.
It seems that way, but
I know I'm not a builder.
yeah.
I'm not really opposed to it. So.
Because we had those the 2 buildings went in on Mill Street. And, at first, some of the neighbors were upset about it, and one said he didn't care, and then now that they're kind of built, they're like, they don't really care.
Well, I think
So-
part of what caused all the uproar, on Bridge Street and Grove Street with the 4 houses, there wasn't anything there.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you see these four structures, and, you know, you've changed something.
Right. And that's the same thing on that Mill Street. The Mill Street that y'all are talking about, it's the same zoning district as Bridge Street in that area. So it's still the 5,000 square feet lots on
Right,
Mill Street.
minimum.
Yeah, and it is 2 lots there. Yeah.
They just have to build them back a little further if this goes through before they get going.
I like that. I think that's the best part of this whole meeting was exactly that. I think the aesthetic wise, you're putting a lot of houses densely, and then it's really close, and it's kind of in your face when you drive by.
Right.
And that setback kind of puts a little more. I like that idea.
It's
I
not
think
sitting
that's
right on top of the road.
Yeah,
Right.
and has much better appearance. You know, when you drive around town, when you drive around any town, we're a small town, you drive around, and a lot of stuff's R3, and there's less open, and it's green space, and all this and that. So it changes when you go to the more dense stuff, so, in time, we'll probably be surprised at how many houses get torn down, big houses, and other structures are built. So this town's gonna change dramatically. So, I think that, you know, we'll all probably be long gone, and they'll be building all these big houses through here will all be apartment buildings, and who knows what will happen with all this stuff, so, try to get it as right as we can, I guess, but the 20-foot setback, I think will bring a lot more aesthetics and get them kind of back off the street a little bit to where, and have a yard at least a little bit. I think that's good. You know, you go to Belmont and you see all the townhomes that are built right almost to the street, and then they have a park in the middle, which is a neat idea. It's a really cool idea, but when you're driving, you kind of feel a little squished because you're like, it's all buildings and buildings, and so it's.
Mr. Chairman, to that point. Also is, it gives you more of that driveway. I assume you have in front loaded driveways, but when you got a short, cars are parking, and if you have a sidewalk, it's blocking the sidewalk, it's up to, and you're gonna get a lot of complaints from that as well. That 20 foot's gonna give you a little bit more driveway, in terms of the vehicle from that perspective. And a lot of some of the towns are dealing with that, and, you know, that's an issue for them. That the driveway, because the setback is so close, you don't have much for a driveway. Yeah,
Yeah, if you got a 12-foot
yes, sir.
setback, you gotta have a little car. Everybody's gotta have a Fiat or something, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
So, well, that's all I had
Cool.
for the meeting.
Okay, I think we kind of got it. So Main Street is still in. We're gonna make a little changes. We're thinking of the 20-foot setback. Was there anything else? Anything?
I think that's it.
That's it? Okay, well, if that's it, then, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. What? That gives us, something.